Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Monday morning. I hope you've had a fantastic weekend, and I hope you have an even better week. In the course of our studies and our devotional series this last week or two, we've been looking at different names of God. We find that God was given these names by the Jewish people during the Old Testament, and they were names that indicated an aspect of his character or the person that he was. Every time God revealed himself in the progressive revelation of who he is and how he does it, they gave him a different name every time there was a new revelation. Now, there are many names, but I want to focus one on today, Jehovah Mekadesh, which simply means the God who sanctifies me. That means he's the one who makes me holy. He's the one who makes me like himself. It's worth having a look at this particular aspect, first of all, just to launch this week's series by saying to you that, it's almost would sound like it's a little confusing, because in the book of Exodus, chapter 31, verse 12 and 13, God has just completed giving to Moses all the details of the temple and the aspects of worship and what needed to take place. And then he says to Moses, he says, "And I am the one who is holy, and I will sanctify you." Now, it's a little bit confusing, because in other passages we read how Joshua said on the edge of the Jordan River, he told the people, "Sanctify yourselves, because God will do great things amongst you." And so we have these two apparently contradicting truths. Who sanctifies us? God says in Deuteronomy that he does, in Exodus he does, and then in Joshua we read where we have to sanctify ourselves. Well, I want to tell you the truth is actually between both of those. Every time you have two polar truths, you'll find that the truth is somewhere in between if you keep looking hard enough. Now, as we look at this issue of God sanctifying us, I believe that it's a big deal today. It's a huge deal, where God calls us to come out from the world and to be different to the world, take on different values to the world. We take on different norms and standards from what the world propounds. We are sanctified, and we are sanctified holy for his purpose. That word holy is a good word, because it's all completeness. I am sanctified, holy, completely ready for the use of God. Now, I want to just take you into a small little aspect over here. In Exodus chapter 31, God has given to the people the commands of what the law looks like. And he's saying, you need to obey these things in order to sanctify yourself and be sanctified to me. But then in Leviticus 20, verse 7 and 8, he says, "Sanctify yourselves and be holy, because I am the Lord your God. Keep my decrees and follow them. I am the Lord who makes you holy. I am the one who sanctifies you." So today, I want to just begin by saying God does his job well. He takes us, broken human beings, he puts us all back together again over the course of time, and he sets us apart for his use and his use only. That's why the nation of Israel is so incredibly significant, because God chose the nation of Israel to be his redemptive nation, to be the nation that would come out from the rest of the tribes and the rest of the world, to be significant for the redemption of mankind. Because out of the Jewish nation would come Jesus, who would be the Savior of mankind. And so God has always told us to withdraw from the world, be set apart from them, don't be like them. We live amongst them, but that doesn't mean we have to be like them. God has sanctified us to set us apart to be holy. God uses himself, it's interesting, as the example of what set apartness or holiness says. He says, "Be holy as I am holy." And so there is a possibility not of sinlessness or of complete victory over sin. We are human, broken people, but there is something about a person who comes to God and declares, "Lord, can you use me? I'm all you've got. I may not be the greatest of anything around here, but Lord, can you use me?" And we find that God, when he smiles upon you and he takes you and he puts you to a side and he says, "Indeed I can. I can use broken people. I can use messed up people. I can use good people. I can use wicked people. I can use anybody to fulfill my purpose." But first of all, they need to understand what sanctification is all about. It's a journey to become more like Christ every day. So over the course of this next week, we're going to be looking at different aspects of how you can know if you have been sanctified, How do I know? Is there something happens? Do I get a sign on my forehead that says sanctify? No, not at all. There's a very practical way that I hope the scriptures will teach you this coming week as we look at what it really means to be sanctified, to do our bit. God will certainly do his bit for us to cooperate with God to become holy, set apart, sanctified for our Master's use. Have a fantastic day, people. Cheers.